Hey friends, it's Monica Schrader from the SchraderPage.com and the Schrader Page blog. I wanted to show you one of my newest units that I just finished up. It's Holey Pumpkin Day. Celebrate the season of fall with this fun-filled day of pumpkin fun. This unit actually came about because every year I love carving pumpkins with my class at the end of our pumpkin and gourd unit. And I was really struggling because we seem to have every year a couple students that don't celebrate Halloween, and I want to make sure that I'm sensitive to that. So I decided that instead of carving into jack-o'-lanterns, we would make lanterns for the fall. And it's also a great way to get the dads to come in because we use power drills at the drill station to drill holes in our pumpkins. But in a nutshell, you're going to get a letter that tells parents a little bit about Holey Pumpkin Day and expresses our need for small carving pumpkins. So I usually have each student bring a small carving pumpkin in. Make sure they're not the pie pumpkins because they're very difficult to cut through. You'll get a reminder about the pumpkin. And then this is the packet that my students begin working in the morning on Holey Pumpkin Day. And they go through a variety of different centers. There's pumpkin vocabulary, pumpkin unscramble, which are basically the vocabulary words. All about my Holey Pumpkin, and that is where they are measuring their pumpkin. Fall textures, where they'll get to do a rubbing of their pumpkin. Making words using the word pumpkins. We do a sink or float center where I take a large tub and fill it with water, and I always have parents come in and volunteer during the centers too. And I have a parent stand back there and we'll do sink or float with our pumpkins, making predictions. We do a life cycle of a pumpkin. I always grab a ton of pumpkin nonfiction books from the library so the students can do a pumpkin book review. And they look for a nonfiction text feature, which is really important for them to start focusing on with nonfiction. We do a little writing activity. Once upon a fall harvest, I found a tiny pumpkin seed, and so a little creative writing. Another little scoop on Pumpkin Day tells you a little bit more about it and how I get it set up in my classroom. You'll also get a little bit of information about my pumpkin centers, and those are actually the pages in the packet that my students go through. And these are the labels that I use, so each of the little centers are shrunk down and they're on the label so the students can see what center is what. And I just cut those out and mount those on colored construction paper. One of the other centers is Let's Compare Pumpkins and Gourds. We do a poetry center, and I put two different ones on here. One's a little bit more difficult than the other, but basically they're going through and circling rhyming words and underlining contractions. How to make pumpkin pie, which is a how-to from Writer's Workshop. We do a pie tally on our favorite tallies, and then we graph that data and write an opinion piece. We have a pumpkin acrostic poem, and then at the end of the packet is the Holey Pumpkin directions. And basically what they do, I pre-cut all of the pumpkins beforehand so they can go back right away. When they finish, they bring their packet to me and I give it my stamp of approval, which is just a cute little pumpkin stamp. And then they go off to do their pumpkin directions for Holey Pumpkin. They pull off the pumpkin, they scoop out the guts, they grab a handful of seeds and separate them from the guts. Or pulp, however you want to say it, but guts always sounds really exciting to a second grader. We count the number of seeds, and if your seeds are an even number, you draw 20 dots on your pumpkin. If your seeds are an odd number, you draw 25 on your pumpkin. They then take their pumpkin to the drill station, and the dads or the moms, whoever is running the drill, they drill the holes in the pumpkin, and they go back and add a glow stick inside the lid. And I have them wait until the very end to break the glow stick to make it glow. We illustrate a picture of our Holey Pumpkin, and they show where their holes are. And then at the very end of the day, we do a pumpkin tasting where we try lots of different pumpkin things, pumpkin seeds, pumpkin butter, pumpkin bread, pumpkin pie. They do just a little write-up, and then at the very end, we turn out all the lights and put the blinds down, and we break our glow stick, or we crack our glow sticks so that the students can see what their lanterns will look like when they get home, and either add another glow stick or they can add white Christmas lights or orange lights to it, or even a candle, the good old-fashioned way. But it's such a fun way for students to celebrate the fall season without having to make a jack-o'-lantern. So I hope this helps out in your classroom. Again, it's Monica Schrader from the SchraderPage.com and the Schrader Page blog. You can grab this packet from my Teachers Pay Teacher store. Again, it's Holy Pumpkin Day.